Hello, boys and girls. I'm going to be telling you about another random thing that you probably already knew or otherwise didn't care about, but I hope you're watching it because of my chaos energy, and I'm bringing that big, massive energy I don't have. The other thing's very small, like incredibly small. I have the smallest. No one argues about that. But today we're going to be talking about the movie Predator and also Jean-Claude Van Damme, the kicking guy, the guy that got so boring in media because all he did was kick that his entire career imploded because everybody got sick of seeing a flying roundhouse kick. That's all he could do. I mean, that's literally all he was done. Bloodsport is a dope movie, though, and because of Bloodsport, little tangent, before we get even to Predator, I want to know a little tidbit of information I'm going to present to you. I'm going to present you with the most interesting information you could possibly have in your entire little noggin there. Back in the day, there was a movie called Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, where he was doing some kicking stuff, right? The whole movie was just basically Baki the Grappler, the film, right? If you know what Baki the Grappler is, if you don't know what it is, it's Bloodsport. It's literally a fighting movie. How much more obvious does the movie's title need to be? But the whole movie was so inspiring that when they were making the game Mortal Kombat, they were like, holy crap, we want to make this a video game after that movie Bloodsport, but have some like interdimensional stuff involved as well. We want it to be like different enough from Bloodsport so they don't sue us, but we also want to be Bloodsport. We want to be that graphic. And they actually originally tried to get Jean-Claude Van Damme to voice Johnny Cage, because Johnny Cage was based off of Jean-Claude Van Damme. That guy was who he was based off of, and they were like, listen, you should be that part. And later down the line, it was like Mortal Kombat 1, I think it was, whatever the one was that came out a few years ago. They actually got Jean-Claude Van Damme for the role because he wasn't any longer the massive giant star that he was back then. Back then, in order to contact Jean-Claude Van Damme, you probably had to make out with his manager, and there was probably some Harvey Weinstein stuff going on. I don't know. It was the 90s. It was a different time. It was a different time, brother. You could just like go into a manager's office and they'd kiss you right on the mouth. They'd be like, shh, kiss me, big boy. Probably. I don't know. I wasn't in the entertainment industry in the 90s because I was a small child. Ew, that could go in a lot of different ways. But another thing was, during this time, Jean-Claude Van Damme wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be one so dang bad. And everybody told him he was sucked, he was terrible. He would kept doing any role that they put him in. They're like, all right, you weird little French dude, go stand in the corner. You're going to be the corner guy for this video. He's like, do I get any lines? And they're like, oui, douchebag, we don't speak your language. Go to the corner, fucktard. So he'd stand in the corner. And he actually got one role where he was going to be the bad monster in a film. It was going to be the first time that he was going to be like credited with something. He was going to be the guy in the Predator costume. Now, there is something that a lot of people mess up with this story, is they just kind of announced that he was the original guy in the Predator costume, and it kind of makes him seem like a bitch, right? It kind of makes him seem like this big fucking soy boy loser guy who ended up becoming an action hero, and they're like, that doesn't make sense. How does the action hero be such a little soy boy douchebag? But actually, Jean-Claude Van Damme was pretty tough, but the original Predator costume was like a giant bug monster. It was this big amalgamation bug monster because, like, you see all the stuff with the comic books and the extra media tied into Predator. You forget that the first movie was the first entry in that world. So they had created this giant, disgusting bug monster. They're filming in like 100-degree, 1,000% humidity. There is like literal like death, like sticking to your skin. And all the other action stars are wearing like pretty much nothing, so that all the guys that are watching that are fat like myself can picture themselves as tough for 5 seconds. We're like, oh man, dude, I remember when I was in shape. What a great time. I would have been one of these guys. True man's man. That's what I would have been. But over here was Jean-Claude Van Damme in like 100-pound costume, dying and kept passing out from heat stroke over and over and over again. They would get like a half scene done, and Jean-Claude Van Damme would just be like, I'm too French to live, and then give up, just like they did in World War II. Just pass the hell out. And this kept happening, and the poor guy just kept dying to the point that they kind of, Jean-Claude Van Damme quit. He said, I can't do this anymore, and they quit. And they said, it's kind of crazy that the suit keeps making the actor pass out. That seems mad unfortunate. So they redesigned the suit over the fact that they were just going to like paint on the dude's body. It was like a whole different lighter suit. The whole idea was scrapped, and they created the idea that was Predator today. And I felt bad for Jean-Claude Van Damme, even though he's a terrible actor, like one of the worst. His two greatest movies is Bloodsport, which the whole premise of that movie is just beat the shit out of everybody. Not really a whole lot going on there. The other one was Kickboxer, which is just like the rated R version of Karate Kid. If you haven't watched Kickboxer, that's the movie. It is rated R version of Karate Kid. Instead of like learning while cleaning cars, they learn while they get drunk at one point. It is a weird movie, and the whole time I was watching, I'm like, I've fucking seen this. This is Karate Kid. What's going on here? Is there something different? Am I supposed to get something else from it? Because this movie's like iconic for the time. But no, it's just a Karate Kid ripoff with like Jean-Claude Van Damme being very French or whatever he is. I don't know. Is he French? Canadian? I don't. He's like XQC and I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't know. I just remember it being very bold. They also did like Time Cop, I think is another one. I never watched that one. If it's worth watching, let me know down in the description. Hit me with that descripty, baby. Hit me with that big old descripty flapping on my face. I need to know. I need to know if it's worth seeing. But I just always felt bad for Jean-Claude Van Damme for kind of being labeled as a bitch. When the costume was like this giant hot bug monster in 1,000% humidity while everybody else is just wearing tank tops and he's fucking dying. I just felt like he got kind of the raw end of the deal. And the fact that we live in a world where people complain about how the Predator looks in new films, like he doesn't look cool enough, his face is too weird, he looks retarded now, or whatever. And at one time, it was a giant ugly bug monster. It was like way stupider. Way more stupid. It was way more of a stupid design than it is now in today's day. And the fact that it used to be like a fucking cockroach flying around the forest to this giant cool Predator monster is all thanks to Jean-Claude Van Damme almost dying during the filming of that film. I think that's just so cool. I think it's really entertaining. But yeah, that was my little nugget of knowledge I drop on you guys. I made sure to take the schlim from my little scrotum sack, rub it on your face, and say, I just presented you with knowledge. Who do I reach out to for your car's extended warranty? But that's kind of what I wanted to bring you guys with today. I hope you enjoyed my little presentation on why Jean-Claude Van Damme isn't the bitch you guys have said he is. I think that is important to know. I think we're getting to the place where we're finally understanding who Jean-Claude Van Damme is. But if you guys want to argue with me in the comments, go ahead and do that. That is totally up to you. If your parents don't love you and you live in the basement and you want to complain about how some fact I got wrong is, and you want to get blast me on Twitter, go ahead. Make my day, brother. I will put you in a chokehold and then poop on your mouth. It'll be like diarrhea pooping in your mouth with diarrhea mode. That's what I want to do to you. I want you to know. Also, let's get some more love for the wall, the floral print. I know your grandma appreciated it from the last video. She's probably still slapping it away. But thank you guys again. And I'll catch you on the next one. Like and subscribe, I guess. I don't really know how to outro. Go back to jerking it. Go back to jerking it, brother. All right, deuces.